Hello and welcome to my channel. Uh, Today we will discuss about the sampling and data. It means how to sample, how to take a sample from a data. We have so many methods to sampling. We will discuss one by one. So first we need to discuss about some key terms as population, sample, parameter, variables. Okay. So we generally want to study the population. Population means any type of data. Not need only the population, human population. It means any type of data called the population. Okay, and when we take a portion of the population, it is called the sample, or you can say the sample of the population. Okay. Now parameter is a numerical characteristic of the whole population that can be estimated by the statistics. And variable, or you can say a random variable, usually denoted by the capital letters x and y as mentioned here, is a characteristic or measurement that can be determined for each member of the population. Okay, so if I have a two type of variable, dependent and independent variable. Okay, dependent variable means which is depend on the other variable. As you can see the example of dependent and independent variable, like cancer and smoke. Okay, so smoke is a independent variable and cancer is a dependent variable. So we can take as a y is a dependent variable, so cancer is a y variable, and cause of the cancer is independent variable, the smoke or drinking. Okay, so one is independent variable and another is independent variable. Okay, variable may be numerical or categorical. Numerical variables take a value on with the units such as the weight in pounds and time in hours. Categorical variables place the person or things into a category. Now, sample. What is the sample? As I have discussed already, sample is a portion of population. Okay, it is a portion of whole population. So if I take a portion of population and then sample used to study the population. Okay, because whole population is a very tedious and very tedious task to population to study the whole population. So we take a sample. Okay, or you can understand example of sample as a physician or a doctor take a small amount of blood in a human body to test any type of blood test or any type of disease. Doctor take 1 or 2 or 3 ml blood from the body. It means he or she take a sample of the whole blood is as a population, and a part of taken by the doctor is a sample. Okay, sampling, we can categorize the sampling method in different ways. First one, we can categorize in broadly in two types: probabilistic sampling and non-probabilistic sampling. In We will discuss about the probabilistic sampling in this lecture. So in probabilistic sampling, first we discuss about the random sampling, stratified sampling, systematic sampling, clustered sampling, or multi-stage sampling. Okay. Okay, first one is sampling, simple random sampling. Simple random sampling means the random selection without planning. As you can see, one example, you can understand with the example of random sampling. A teacher went to select 1 or 2 students for a class representative. What she doing? She write a name of every student on the piece of paper and putting the paper inside the box and select one of or two name or two piece of paper from the box at random. This type of sampling to select a random without planning is called the random sampling. Okay, so random sampling means simply selection without any planning. Now, cluster sampling. Cluster means groups. Divide the whole population into the cluster groups and then randomly select some of cluster or some of groups. Okay, all the members from these cluster are in the cluster sample. Okay, for example, if you are randomly sample 4 departments. Okay, randomly select 4 departments from your college population. Okay, The 4 departments make up the cluster. Divide 4 college faculty by departments. Departments are the clusters. Number each departments and then choose one different numbers using simple random sampling. So in the cluster sampling, first we divide whole population in similar type of group, and then select a group from the whole groups. Okay, this is called the cluster sampling. So as you can see the whole population, but we cluster the whole population. We can categorize the cluster. We can, as you can see, the one cluster, two cluster, and there are so many cluster, and take one or two sample from all the groups or clusters. And then we will discuss about the stratified sample. Stratified means strata means group. Okay, divide the whole population into groups called strata, and then taken the proportionate number from each strata. Okay, for example, you can you could satisfy group your college population by different departments, and then choose one proportionate in simple random sampling from each stream to get the stratified stratified the random sampling. So strata means the group. So we can divide the whole population into groups and then select one group. As you can see the similarity in the cluster and the stratified sampling, but in the cluster sampling we make different cluster or different groups of same type of group. But in stratified sampling we can simply divide whole population in 4 and 5 group and then select one group. Okay, then systematic sampling. Systematic sampling means random sampling at starting point and take every piece of data from a listing of population. As if we need to select 10% out of 100%, so in the systematic sampling first we need to arrange this type all whole population at this type, that first we need to select 10th place, 20th place, 30th, 40th, 50th, and so on up to 100th. So this type of sampling is called the systematic sampling, because it's a systematic way. We select we select a sample with systematic manner. Okay. Now this is an example of the systematic cluster and systematic simple random and cluster convenience sampling. Because convenience sampling you can't consider here convenience, because convenience sampling is not non-probabilistic sampling. Here we will discuss only the probabilistic sampling. Okay. Now pie charts and graph. It's a brief introduction about pie chart and graph, because tables are a very good way of organizing and displaying data, but graph can be even more helpful in understanding the data. There are no strict rule concerning with graph which graph is used. To graph that are used to display the qualitative or categorical data are in pie chart and bar graph. In pie chart, categories of data are represented by the wedges in a circle and are proportional in size to percent of individuals in each category. Okay. In a bar graph, the length of bar of each category is proportional to the number or percent of individuals in each category. Bar may be vertically or horizontally. Okay. As you can see, this is the pie chart or pie graph. Okay. So classification of statistics students in the pie graph. As you can see, the number of students in yellow color and different color. As you can see, this is called the circle. The circle shape is called the pie chart, and this is called the bar graph. As you can see, there are the bar. This is the bar or horizontally bar. Okay. Okay. Thank you so much. It is all about the sampling. If you have any type of query, please write in comment sections. Thank you so much.